So I translated all Resident Evil 2 monsters into D&D. So what does this include? This includes all of the Resident Evil 2 enemies that are included in the base game, not the Ghost Survivors DLC. But this will have Mr. X, this will have Birkin, this will have everything. But if you want to find G5 Birkin, you're going to have to wait till the end. So we're going to go ahead and start with the normal enemies. The T-Virus subject. This is a medium undead, which is unaligned. Has an AC of 10, 20 hit points, speed of 15 feet, to kind of mimic that like stumble style that they have. They are resistant to necrotic damage, have a +5 in constitution. They're zombies. They don't really get poisoned, I don't think. Then we have the stumble feature, which when the T-Virus subject sees an attack coming, it may use its reaction to lurch unpredictably. It gains a +3 bonus to AC against that attack and may move up to 5 feet. So it's like a +3 armor class. This thing's really weak. It's gonna get hit by just about anything. And then Grabby. Whenever the T-Virus subject hits a creature with a melee attack, the target must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw or become grappled. Which kind of mimics like that grab sequence that you have in Resident Evil 2. Next is Persistent. When the T-Virus subject is reduced to 0 hit points, it makes a DC 14 Constitution saving throw. On a success, it rises at the start of its next turn with full hit points. Each time it returns this way, the DC increases by 1. So with this Persistent feature, there's a pretty high chance it's going to get back up. Which is not fun, but that's what makes these guys challenging. If you have to kill them a couple times before they get back up, before they fully die. And their only attack is Bite. So it has a +4 to hit, and on hit it does 1d6 +2 piercing damage. Nothing special there. And this monster is recommended for people around, for a party of 4 around level 1. Next we have the Licker. If you've played Resident Evil, you know what this thing is. And it has an armor class of 17 because of how fast and jumps around, has 100 hit points, has a speed of 45 feet, is vulnerable to fire, but it has blind sight of 60 feet, passive perception of 10, and it has pretty high strength, dex, and constitution. The Licker has the feature Enhanced Hearing, so when a creature wearing medium or heavy armor has disadvantage on stealth checks to sneak past this Licker. A creature wearing light armor must move at 5 feet per round or slower to avoid being detected by its hearing. So this just adds a disadvantage to medium armor. I include heavy armor in case for some reason they don't already have disadvantage on stealth. Then Persistent. If the Licker dies from any damage other than fire or bludgeoning, it must make a DC 14 con save. On a success, it rises at the start of its next turn with half its hit points. Each time it revives this way, the DC increases by 1. See, same ability from the T-Virus subject, except it regains only half its hit points, and I include bludgeoning damage on the things to kill it because it has brain is like on its head. So if you hit something with a ginormous hammer, it's probably not going to have a brain left to do anything. And then the Licker also has multi-attack, so it can make 1 claw attack and 1 tongue attack. And the tongue attack is a ranged weapon attack, and it has +4 to hit, a 30-foot range, hits 1 person, and it does 2d6 +2 piercing damage. Then it has a claw attack with +6 to hit, 5-foot reach, 1 target, and it does 3d4 +3 slashing damage. And this Licker is meant only for survivors of a group of survivors level 5 or higher. Next we have the last normal enemy, the Ivy. The Ivy is a large plant, unaligned. Has 16 armor class, only 80 hit points, speed of 30 feet. But it has very high constitution, very okay strength, decent dex, and decent wisdom. Has a +7 in constitution saving throws, but it is very vulnerable to fire. And it has the Relentless Plant feature, which is, again, like all the other ones. If an Ivy is reduced to 0 hit points by an attack that does not deal fire damage, it collapses and becomes inert for 1 minute. At the end of that damage, it rises with 1 hit point. If the Ivy takes any damage while inert, it dies instantly. So basically you can like light it on fire with a small spell and it'll die. And then it also has the hidden trap ability. So when an IV is reduced to below half its hit points, 40 HP, it lashes out at the nearest creature. The creature must succeed a DC 16 strength save or fall unconscious, immediately beginning death saves with 1 automatic failure. So this is like the grab that the plants have, where if you don't counterattack with a grenade or a knife, you just die. That's kind of what this is. Then we have the multi-attack. It can make 2 claw attacks. Each claw attack has +4 to hit, reach of 5 feet, hits 1 target, but does 48 plus 3 piercing damage. Oh, sorry, I forgot. How could I forget? The dogs. The Cerberus, they're small beasts and unaligned. They have an AC of 18, only 50 hit points. With decent strength, decent dex, but not very good constitution. And it has the ability Pack Tactics, advantage on rolls against a creature if at least one of its allies is within 5 feet. Very strong, very strong. It's just your standard wolf ability. Then it has Surprise Attack. If this dog surprises a creature, the surprised creature with the lowest hit points must succeed a DC 16 strength saving throw or become grappled and knocked prone. While a creature is grappled or prone by this effect, the Cerberus can use its bite attack against it. So the bite attack has +6 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 target that is grappled or prone, and does 3d6 plus 2 piercing damage. Then it also has its claw attack, which is only +4 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target, and it does 2d6 plus 2 slashing damage. This creature is recommended for survivors level 2 or higher. And now we get into bosses. And look who it is, Mr. X. Well, Mr. X is a medium creature. He is very much chaotic evil. He does whatever he wants. And this is the Stalker form. You can use this as a boss, or you could use Super X, which you'll see in a little bit. And he has 16 armor class. Not very high armor class, but you know. But has 500 hit points. That's pretty high, and has a speed of 20 feet. So it's enough so that you can run away from him. So he's pretty slow, so you can run away like in the game, but has a 20 in strength and an 18 in constitution. So he is not weak to anything, but he can make 2 punch attacks in 1 turn. And he has the ability My Hat. Whenever Mr. X takes damage, the attacker must succeed on a DC 12 dexterity check to keep his hat from falling off. If the hat falls off, Mr. X deals an additional 1d8 damage on all melee attacks until the end of his next turn. So, this actually punishes you for getting rid of his hat. Normally it doesn't really do anything besides he doesn't have a cool hat, but I would not say it's the best idea to knock off his hat. Otherwise, he's doing a lot of damage. And then next, he has the Made of Stone ability, which is your standard zombie get back up, where when Mr. X is reduced to 0 hit points, he must make a DC 16 con save. On a success, it's supposed to say success, he revives at the start of his next turn with full hit points. Each time he revives, the DC increases by 2. And then he has Punch. Melee weapon attack +6 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target, but does 5d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage. If you add that 1d8 from the My Hat ability, it's 68 plus 4. Not very much fun, I don't think. But now, Super X! Yay! Super X has an AC of 17, 750 hit points, speed of 30 feet. Has a 20 in strength, 20 in constitution. That's just about all you need to know. And he has multi-attack where he makes 3 claw attacks, and he has the Made of Stone feature, and whenever he is reduced to 0 hit points, he must make a DC 20 con save. On a success, he revives at the start of his next turn with half his maximum hit points. Each time he dies, the DC increases by 2. And Impalement. This is his big ability that you'll see where he will, grab you and stick his claws through your chest. And this is when he is reduced to below half his hit points, he begins charging a devastating attack. He spends 1 full turn charging, and you have to deal 150 damage in a single turn to interrupt his charge. So you basically have to do 150 damage before he does this. And if he completes it, he targets the creature with the lowest hit points within 60 feet, and that creature must make a DC 20 dex save. On a failure, the target is impaled and instantly killed. They can only be revived by an 8th level healing spell or higher. So don't let him charge this. On a success, the claws miss vital organs. The target is still reduced to 1 hit point. So, make sure you hit him out of this. This is not fun. But, actions. His only attack is Claw. Melee weapon attack, plus 6 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target. It does 78 plus 4 slashing damage. And he can make 3 of these. That is 21d8 plus 12 slashing damage if they all hit. And now we are into the Birkins. I say Birkins because there are a lot of them. And this is G1 Dr. Birkin. Armor class 15, hit points 150. 18 in strength, 17 in constitution. And he has the constant aggression feature. He will always attack the closest target. It does not matter who, he will always attack the closest target. So, my spell guys, you're pretty good for this guy for now. And he has the mutated eye, so once per turn, Birkin's mutated eye opens. It's that weird yellow eye you find on his arm, allowing attacks against it to deal double damage. But the eye has an AC of 17. After taking damage, it immediately shuts until the end of Birkin's next turn. So it's only 1 attack, but you can do some pretty good damage, especially if you hit it with a fireball. And then he can also hide. And if he cannot see any targets, he climbs to the ceiling to search. If he finds someone, he drops onto them. The creature must succeed a DC 16 dexterity save or take 14 bludgeoning damage. This is kind of like when he climbs onto the ceiling if he can't find you and he jumps down on you. That's what it's trying to go for. And then he has the pipe. It does has plus 4 to hit, hits 1 target, and does 2d10 bludgeoning damage. This is recommended for people around level 4. Next up, Birkin G2. We're just keep on going up. So he has armor class of 16, 275 hit points, 18 in strength, 18 in constitution. He has the same constant aggression ability, has the same mutated eye ability, has the same hiding ability, except with increased damage to 5d6, and then he has a claw attack which does 3d10 slashing damage. That's the guy you hit with the crane over and over. Doesn't really change all that much. And now we have Birkin G3, everybody's favorite, right? Yeah? No? Okay. Armor class of 17, 375 hit points, 18 in strength, 19 in constitution. Same constant aggression, same mutated eye except it's an AC of 18, same hiding ability except it's 76, and then claw attack where it's plus 4 to hit and it's 6d10 instead of 3d10. Recommended for survivors around level 10. And now we're into Birkin G4, Claire's Run final boss. Has an AC of 17, 600 hit points, 20 in strength, 19 in constitution. Same constant aggression, same mutated eye ability except it's AC 18. I believe that was what the last one was as well. And he has the jump, which is a special, recharges after, when it hits... What am I saying? When Birkin is reduced to half his hit points, he climbs onto the walls for the rest of that turn. On his next turn, he leaps onto the creature with the lowest hit points. All creatures within 10 feet of that landing point must make a DC 18 dex save or take 10d10 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half on a success. This guy also has a challenge rating of 19, just like Super X. And then he also can make 2 claw attacks that each do 7d10 plus 3 with plus 6 to hit. And now, for the final Birkin G5. He only has an armor class of 10, but has 1200 hit points. He has a speed of 10 feet. He has a 20 in strength and a 22 in constitution, with plus 12 in constitution saving throws. He can make 3 swallow attacks, has the constant aggression feature, and he has the mutated eye. But except it is when he drops below half his hit points, his eye opens for 1 turn. While it's open, all attacks against it deal double damage. If Birkin hits a creature while his eye is open, that creature immediately drops to 1 hit point. So it's kind of a risk reward. And if you wanted to use this because of his 10-foot movement speed, I'd recommend putting him in a small enclosed space like the final train. Then he has the swallow feature, which is allows you to make, which is a melee weapon attack with +6 to hit, 10-foot reach, 1 target, and on hit it does 10d12 piercing damage. Very fun, right? This is recommended for survivors level 24 or higher. This is a very strong boss, and he is meant to be like a campaign-ending final boss. But you could also, Birkin G4 would work, and so would Super X. But that's also if you're going to like level 20. If you're going to lower, Birkin G1 could be a cool boss. Birkin G2, Birkin G3. Those are like low to mid-level. And then if you wanted like not quite level 20, you could always use Mr. X Stalker form as your final boss. And then you have a couple of guys you can just throw at people. Lickers are going to be brutal sometimes. Cerberus, where's he? Yeah, him with the 18 AC, that's going to be brutal. But with that, that's all of the Resident Evil 2 monsters. If you would like, I can go through and make it for the Ghost Survivors DLC. I just kind of forgot by the time I was recording this. So, thank you all for tuning into this. I hope you enjoy using the Resident Evil 2 monsters. The link to this document is in the description, so you can go and take a look at it. And with that, I will catch you all in the next D&D video. Goodbye!